Surgeon reveals. Do this 1. Exercise for poor leg circulation after 60. It's a surprising thought. What if the exercises most commonly suggested for improving leg circulation in people over 60 might actually be hindering their progress? As a surgeon, I witness this scenario frequently. Individuals diligently follow advice, incorporating regular walking, elevating their legs, and wearing compression socks. Yet, they continue to experience bothersome issues like persistently cold feet, uncomfortable swelling, a burning sensation, and unfortunately, an increased risk of falls. This is a cause for concern because poor circulation after the age of 60 isn't just about discomfort. It can subtly pave the way for slow-healing sores, persistent infections, and in the most severe instances, could even lead to amputations. Furthermore, it often serves as an early indicator that the heart and blood vessels are under considerable strain. The core of the problem is that many people don't truly grasp what poor circulation entails. It's more than just having cold toes. It signifies a breakdown in the efficient movement of blood, both down to your feet and back up towards your heart. As we age, particularly after 60, our arteries can become less flexible and narrower, while our veins may lose some of their strength. This leads to blood beginning to pool in the lower parts of the legs. By the time individuals reach their 70s, it's estimated that close to 1 in 5 adults will have a measurable degree of peripheral artery disease affecting their legs, and many remain unaware of it. This is precisely why surgeons don't take chances with this condition. We have first-hand knowledge of the consequences when circulation isn't addressed promptly. We see how swelling can escalate into open sores, how balance can falter, and how a single fall can trigger a rapid and significant decline in health. However, there's very good news. The path to recovery doesn't solely depend on the number of steps you take. Instead, it relies on performing specific movements designed to actively encourage blood flow back towards the heart. Once you understand which muscle groups are crucial for this vital pumping action, the solution becomes remarkably straightforward. And I'm saving the most impactful information for last, because once you grasp the underlying science, your perspective on exercise after 60 will fundamentally change. This knowledge could be the key to maintaining your ability to walk strongly into your 80s, rather than needing a cane by the time you're 70. Let's begin by looking at movement number 5, often referred to as the second heart pump or calf activation. This is the first movement in our countdown. At first glance, it might seem too simple to have any real effect, but the scientific evidence and the protocols used in surgical rehabilitation tell a very different story. This is frequently the initial exercise that surgeons recommend after leg surgery to prevent circulation from worsening. The reason this movement is so important, perhaps more than you realize, is because your calf muscles house what medical professionals call the venous muscle pump. It's sometimes described as the body's secondary heart. Each time these muscles contract, they physically compress the veins in your lower legs, propelling blood back up towards your heart. After the age of 60, this vital pump can weaken considerably, especially if you spend long periods sitting. When this pump doesn't function optimally, blood can accumulate in your ankles and feet, leading to increased swelling, reduced oxygen delivery, and a slower healing process. Clinical research conducted in the field of vascular rehabilitation has demonstrated that simple ankle pumping exercises can significantly enhance venous return and reduce swelling in the lower legs of older adults, even when performed without standing or walking. The crucial factor here isn't the intensity of the exercise, but rather its consistency and the deliberate nature of the movement. To perform this correctly, simply sit in a chair with your feet resting flat on the floor. Begin by lifting your toes towards your shins while keeping your heels planted on the ground. Following this, press your toes down into the floor and lift your heels as if you were pressing on a gas pedal. This completes 1 repetition. It's important to move slowly and with controlled movements. Aim to complete 20 to 30 repetitions, 2 to 3 times a day. You can easily incorporate this into your daily routine while watching television, reading a book, or sitting at a dining table. This particular movement helps to restore a pumping action that the simple act of walking alone often doesn't activate strongly enough after the age of 60. Walking relies heavily on momentum, whereas ankle pumps create deliberate muscle contractions that effectively move stagnant blood out of the lower legs. The direct benefits include warmer feet, reduced swelling, and less pressure on delicate veins. It also offers one of the safest ways to begin improving circulation if you experience pain, balance issues, or fatigue that limits your mobility. However, ankle pumps primarily serve to wake up the system. The subsequent movement focuses on strengthening the muscles that prevent blood from flowing backward in the first place, which is where significant improvements in circulation truly begin. Let's move on to movement number 4, the seated venous return lift. If you assume that because it's done while sitting, this exercise is easy, you're in for a surprise. A study published in 2024 in the Archives of Physical Medicine and Rehabilitation revealed that adults over the age of 60 who performed seated leg lifts with light resistance saw a remarkable improvement in their walking speed by 28% and their stair climbing ability by 45% in just 8 weeks. These figures are far more significant than most people realize. Walking speed is not just a measure of fitness. Doctors often refer to it as the 6th vital sign. Slower walking speed is strongly associated with an increased risk of falls, a loss of independence, and a shorter lifespan. The reason this particular exercise is so effective, often more so than regular walking for improving circulation, lies in its targeted approach. Seated leg lifts simultaneously engage your quadriceps and hip flexor muscles, while also requiring your core to stabilize your body. These are precisely the muscle groups that are essential for supporting your legs when you stand, climb stairs, or rise from a seated position. Unfortunately, traditional walking exercises don't sufficiently challenge these muscles to combat age-related decline. When these muscles contract during leg lifts, they not only build strength, but also compress the major veins in your thighs, helping to push blood back up towards your heart and reducing pooling. To perform this exercise correctly, sit upright in a sturdy chair, ensuring your back is pressed firmly against the seat and both feet are flat on the floor. Slowly extend one leg straight out in front of you, keeping the knee as straight as is comfortable. Hold this position for 2 seconds, then slowly lower your leg without allowing your foot to drop suddenly. This completes 1 repetition. Aim for 10 to 15 repetitions on one leg before switching to the other. A critical detail that many people overlook is maintaining proper posture. Keeping your back against the chair prevents you from using momentum and ensures that the correct muscles are doing the work, which is where the circulation benefits truly stem from. As this exercise becomes easier, consider adding light resistance. Ankle weights or a resistance band, even as light as 1 or 2 pounds, can make a noticeable difference. Research consistently shows that muscles respond well to progressive resistance training at any age, and older adults often see faster improvements because they are starting from a lower fitness baseline. This movement helps to reduce stiffness, improves the capacity to walk for longer periods, and strengthens the muscles responsible for propelling blood through the upper legs, something that ankle pumps alone cannot achieve. However, even strong thighs won't offer complete protection if your balance system isn't functioning optimally. Let's now consider movement number 3, the calf pump walk with support. This targets a muscle group that doctors rarely test, yet it is frequently the primary reason why seniors experience a loss of independence. What is particularly striking, even to experienced researchers analyzing data on aging, is that a significant report referenced by the National Institute on Aging identified calf strength as one of the most robust indicators of whether an individual over 60 will maintain their independence. Seniors with stronger calf muscles were observed to have a dramatically lower incidence of falls and were far less likely to require assisted living facilities. The importance of this exercise extends beyond what most people might initially assume. Your calf muscles act as a kind of mechanical pump. Every time they contract, they squeeze the deep veins in your lower leg, forcing blood to move upward against the force of gravity. Weak calf muscles can lead to blood pooling, increased swelling, reduced oxygen delivery to tissues, and a slowdown in the body's ability to react and maintain balance. This is why surgeons and rehabilitation teams place such a high emphasis on this particular movement, even though it appears deceptively simple. What sets this exercise apart is that it doesn't just build strength, it actively retrains both your circulation and your balance simultaneously. This is the precise combination your body relies on to prevent a fall. To perform this exercise correctly, stand behind a chair or a countertop and hold on lightly for support. Rise up onto the balls of your feet, lifting your heels as high as is comfortable. At the highest point, pause for 2 to 3 seconds while looking straight ahead, avoiding looking down. Then, slowly lower your heels back down, taking about 3 seconds to complete the descent. The key element here is the tempo. That brief pause at the peak of the movement is where the real benefit occurs. It forces your balance system and your calf muscles to work together in unison, mimicking the action your body takes when you catch yourself from stumbling. Begin with 10 repetitions and gradually increase to 20 or 25 as your strength improves. Over time, this single movement can enhance ankle stability, boost circulation, and improve reaction speed all at once. It's one of the most direct and effective ways to reduce leg swelling while simultaneously decreasing the risk of falls, all without putting undue stress on your joints. We are now approaching the top 2 exercises, and this is where the most significant changes occur. Let's discuss movement number 2, the single leg circulation hold. This exercise earns our runner-up position. It's considered absolutely essential by orthopedic surgeons for anyone over the age of 75. Before you dismiss this as merely a balance exercise, consider this finding that has surprised even seasoned clinicians reviewing aging research. Large-scale population studies, as cited by the National Institutes on Aging, indicate that the ability to stand on one leg is a very strong predictor of future falls, loss of mobility, and rapid physical decline after the age of 60. In fact, adults who struggle with simple single-leg balance tests are several times more likely to experience serious falls in the coming years. And once falls begin to occur, circulation almost invariably worsens, not improves. The importance of this exercise for blood flow cannot be overstated. Every time you stand on one leg, your calf, ankle, hip, and core muscles are compelled to contract continuously to maintain your upright position. This sustained contraction generates a prolonged muscle pump effect, particularly in the calves, effectively pushing blood upward and preventing it from pooling in the lower legs. Standard walking simply doesn't create this level of demand. You are only on one leg for a fleeting moment. Single leg stance holds, however, keep the calf pump actively engaged. This is where the benefits for both circulation and fall prevention converge. When balance deteriorates, individuals tend to move less. A reduction in movement leads to slower blood flow, increased swelling, elevated pain levels, diminished confidence, and this ultimately sets in motion a downward spiral. Here's how to perform this exercise correctly. Stand beside a countertop, a chair, or a wall, placing one hand lightly on it for support. Shift your weight onto one leg and lift the other foot just an inch or 2 off the floor. The height of the lift isn't as important as maintaining an upright posture with your eyes looking forward. Avoid gripping the floor with your toes. Hold this position for 20 to 30 seconds, breathing normally, and then switch legs. This completes one set. Begin with 2 rounds on each leg. As you become more proficient, gradually reduce your reliance on your hand for support, aiming eventually to hover your hand without touching. The power of this exercise stems not only from improving balance, but also from the sustained muscle contraction, known as time under tension. These prolonged contractions keep blood moving, strengthen the stabilizing muscles, and retrain the nervous system to react more swiftly to potential stumbles. Consistent research confirms that enhancing single-leg balance significantly reduces the risk of falls, boosts confidence while walking, and helps seniors remain active, which is fundamental for long-term circulation health. However, there is a key limitation. While balance helps you stay upright, it doesn't fully restore blood flow on its own. To achieve that, you need the most potent version of the calf pump available, the one that surgeons worldwide consider indispensable in rehabilitation. And now, the moment you've been waiting for, movement number 1, the standing calf pump hold. This exercise secures the number one spot. Once you understand the profound impact this movement has on the muscles within your legs, you will clearly see why surgeons globally prescribe it with such regularity, almost as a form of medicine for improving blood flow after the age of 60. This is the exercise I hinted at earlier. What is remarkable, even to experienced surgeons reviewing long-term recovery data from vascular rehabilitation programs across the globe, is how consistently this specific movement appears. No other exercise activates the calf muscle pump as powerfully, as safely, or as reliably in individuals over 60. It represents the most direct method for forcefully expelling blood from the lower legs and directing it back towards the heart, all without the need for medication, specialized equipment, or high-impact stress. Here's the scientific rationale behind its effectiveness. Your calf muscles are more than just simple muscles. They function as pressure pumps. When you rise onto the balls of your feet and hold that position, these muscles compress the deep veins in your lower legs, actively propelling blood upward against gravity. The hold component is what truly distinguishes this exercise. It ensures the pump remains engaged for a sufficient duration to overcome blood pooling, reduce swelling, and counteract sluggish return flow. Simple walking does not achieve this. While ankle pumps prepare the system and single leg stances train control, heel raises with a hold actively move and keep blood in motion. This is why surgeons rely on it so heavily. To perform this exercise correctly, stand behind a chair or countertop and hold on lightly for balance. Position your feet hip-width apart. Slowly rise onto the balls of your feet, lifting your heels as high as is comfortably achievable. Now pause. Hold this top position for 3 to 5 seconds while breathing naturally and keeping your gaze straight ahead. Then slowly lower your heels back down, taking approximately 3 seconds to complete the descent. This constitutes 1 repetition. Begin with 8 to 10 repetitions, and as you gain strength, gradually increase to 15 or 20, always focusing on controlled movement. The critical element here is the sustained hold, which is where the most significant benefits are realized. This prolonged muscle contraction keeps the calf pump fully activated, enhances venous return, reduces swelling, and retrains the very muscles your body needs to engage when you have to catch yourself from stumbling. Clinical rehabilitation data consistently shows that seniors who master controlled heel raises experience simultaneous improvements in circulation, walking endurance, ankle strength, and overall balance confidence. Importantly, unlike exercises that involve high impact, this movement places minimal stress on your joints, making it a safe option even for individuals managing arthritis or balance concerns, provided they use support. So there you have it. These are the 5 exercises that surgeons depend on to effectively restore circulation, alleviate swelling, and safeguard independence in individuals over 60. While walking is undoubtedly beneficial and should absolutely be continued, walking alone leaves critical gaps. It doesn't fully engage the muscle pumps essential for moving blood out of the legs, nor does it adequately train the balance systems crucial for fall prevention. These 5 movements are designed to fill those specific gaps. And the best part, they require less than 15 minutes of your day, can be performed without access to a gym, and can be done safely in the comfort of your own home. Now, we're eager to hear from you. Which of these exercises surprised you the most? Or which one are you planning to start incorporating into your routine today? Please share your thoughts in the comments section below. We genuinely read every single one. And before you go, be sure not to miss the next video that will appear on your screen. It reveals a single wall-based exercise that surgeons are now endorsing as being more effective than walking for building leg strength, improving balance, and enhancing joint stability after the age of 60. Many people overlook it because it appears deceptively simple, but the results are dramatically impactful when performed correctly. Please watch that next video. It has the potential to change your approach to leg training from this point forward. Thank you for watching.